All right, part 2.
3.
Well,
3.
2.5.
3.
Well, if you wouldn't have broke things.
You broke things.
All right, I broke things. So anyways, part 3. Now that we got the new magnet that she broke.
You broke.
So we got 2 of them just in case she breaks another one. Right?
I'm not going to break one.
All right.
I know how it goes in.
So anyways, this is what you need. You need a helper.
That knows what they're doing.
Okay, that knows what they're doing. You're gonna need some rubber gloves for those that don't want to get oil on their fingers. Some regular gloves for those who have soft hands and don't want to hurt themselves. Anyways, got 2 13mm wrenches, a 16mm, 18mm socket, a 16mm socket, a 13mm socket, some snap pliers, some funny looking needle nose here. You'll see what we're going to use them for here in a second. A little hammer and a punch, and that was all to get it apart. And then you need some plastic shims. Just to recap, the plastic shims, you got to stick in an axle on both sides right here to keep it from tilting back and forth when you jack it up. In the first video you seen, we got the pulley and the fan blade off, flipped it upside down and drained the fluid, and then that's when she broke the...
I didn't break any.
Alright. Well, I didn't practice my 6 Ps because there's one other tool that we need that I didn't bring out here. Now, obviously, you guys can use a hand ratchet or this little impact guy here, but now I'm going to go get the channel locks to pull that off. So, hold on one second. Alright, so now that I'm back with some channel locks, you just want to take this little rubber thing off. Here, I'll let her do it since I'm trying to hold the camera. You just got to get, you're on the transmission itself. Yeah, you just got to kind of wiggle it back and forth. We tapped it in there. We got another one if you ruin it.
At home.
It's at home. It's a good place for it. Alright, maybe we have her hold the camera while I break it. Alright. Because I tried screwdrivers and all kinds of stuff and I couldn't get it off. There, it comes right off when you use the channel locks. So now, the new magnet, let's get that out.
What part number is it? Maybe they need to know the part number.
Where is the part number? It says John Deere on it.
Right there. M119842.
Okay, and see I got some fluid on me already.
For a magnet. How much was the magnet?
It was $4 for 2 of them.
Oh, that's not bad.
So now this goes in there like that.
There you go. Up and down.
Yep, and then if you try to put it in there flat like I did,
And hammer it, it
yep,
breaks.
it
apart.
breaks. And we got lucky and none of the pieces fell down in the transmission. So
Alright, now we can install the cap.
now
Why'd you get those gloves out if you're not using them?
well, I said those were for sissies that didn't want to get stuff on their hands. So anyways,
Install the cap.
that should be about right once it's in their level because that's where it was. So I guess let's put the cap back on there. Give it a little tappy
Not
tap.
much tapping.
Alright, success. We got it in there now. So next thing I can do is move these tools and we'll get it set up to
Install.
stick it under there. So go ahead and pause it for a second. Okay, so here's how we're putting it back on. We just set the transmission on the jack, a little cattywampus, and we're just going to jack it up to put these 4 bolts in with the nuts. And add the bolts going in from the bottom up with the nuts on top. So I'm going to set you guys over here. Since we didn't bring our microphones and gimbal again, you're going to get the DeWalt radio gimbal again. And we're going to go ahead and try to do this. Get our bolts ready. You got your 2 over there?
Yeah. You're going to hold it while I jack it up?
Yeah.
Tell me when.
Alright.
Ready?
Yep. It's going to be a little wobbly, so.
Hit something. Oh, no, you hit this thing in the front.
There you go. Go ahead.
Hit something again. It's got to go backwards.
Yeah, it's got to go back just a smidgen.
Can you move it with the jack, or you want me to go down?
No, I'm just going to try to pull it back. Okay, now go back up.
It's hitting the thing on the front.
Yeah, that's the bracket it needs to go to. So just keep going. Keep going. Alright, hold it right there.
Not quite on both sides.
No, we'll get that with the... There you go. You got that side?
Yeah.
I'll get this one in here. Alright, jack her up just a smidgen more. Keep going. Alright, I can get a nut on. Hold on. I'm going to get a nut on the other side with the bolt. Alright, those two are in. Let me stick the one in the front bracket. So this is the one that goes right here on this little L bracket for the front of the transmission. We'll get that one started. Maybe. Why is that not lining up? Alright, I need that little punch. There we go. That's what you need that for. Sometimes you gotta stick that in the holder. Get your bolts to line up. Alright, give me the two bolts that you had over there. You can put one on your side, and I'll put one on my side. Alright. Now we're going to need the 13mm socket. And you can use a little impact gun like this, or you can use a hand ratchet. Here's 13mm wrench.
You don't want to over tighten them because
No, this is very. This is why we're using a 3/8 one. It's not gonna hurt it. You hold the bottom. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. These got nylocks on them. Okay, now come over here and do these two.
That was a little too tight for that one.
I don't think so. Ready?
Not too tight.
Okay, next one. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll use that, and I'll hold the nut on the top of this one, on the bracket. And that's done. Now you can let the jack down. So the transmission is back in. Go ahead and get rid of the spongy cord too. Now I'll go ahead and put the tie rods back on. This spongy cord here helps with these from flapping around and making you cuss when you're trying to get it out. So now here's where you got to change your socket and your wrench. So now we're going to use a 15mm wrench here and 16, or is it a 15? It's 16. 16mm socket. You put this on. Oh, nope, that's the bigger one. It is the 18. That's done. That's done. The thing that you were moaning about, touching the paint, since you moved it, it vibrated off. So this is the next thing we're going to go ahead and put on. This is your release pin for the transmission. So when you push it forward, or actually when you pull it out, it puts it in neutral so you can push the tractor around. We're going to go ahead and feed that through here. And it goes. Let me show you guys where it goes here. So right here is where the release for your neutral is for your transmission, and it's got to have this little push washer on it, so that's going to be fun to do. And you can usually just use a tiny little socket to push that on, which I don't have here, so let me go get one. Hold on 1 second. Alright, back with a little tiny socket, so you can put this push washer on the socket, and then when you push it up there, technically it should go on. I gotta lay down and look at it. And that was easy enough. So there you see, it just pushed right on real easy, and it won't come back off. Alright. Next thing we gotta do is we gotta put the pins on the go button. So let's show them that. So right down in there, let's zoom in. That is your go pedal. And there's a washer that goes on it first, and then it slides up through that bracket. Here is said washer.
This pin?
And then no, it is all by itself. One of those.
Any one?
No, the pin. The pin. The pin. There you go.
That's a cotter pin.
Yeah, it's a pin.
Why is there another one just like it?
Because it goes on the parking brake one,
Oh,
which is
okay.
down there, which we'll do next. So if you hold this,
Okay.
go ahead and get under here, put the washer on. Ah, it's hard to get that in there. Yep, that's the second time I dropped it. There we go.
Gotta go up.
Up and in. Oh, that is really difficult to get on there. You wouldn't think it would be. There we go. Now the pin is a little easier because it has this hook on it. You can reach it in there
Yeah.
and pull it back, and then here's where that funny, if I can't get it on, trying to feel for the hole.
Yep. Looks good.
So now if you can't get that on,
No, it's on.
this is where these would come in handy, because you can grab a hold of it and pull it towards you. But we got it on.
Alright.
We'll need these for the spring here on the tensioner. This is the tensioner for the belt when we put the belt back on the transmission. Oh, you know what we didn't do? What didn't we do?
We have to put the little fan on it yet.
Yeah, the pulley and the
Well,
fan.
we do need to do that.
We were
We can do
supposed
that
to do
now.
that before we put the transmission in.
Yeah, but I think it'll fit without it.
Well, how are we going to get the snap ring on it?
I think it goes in. We can
Alright,
snap
well,
it in there.
We'll have to use the trick.
Probably should have put it on before we put the transmission
Yeah,
in, but
so-
it's okay. I think it fits. I don't want to take the transmission back out.
No, me neither. So there's the fan, and then you got this spring washer that goes on here. And this should have been done before.
But it all fits. That's probably why they built it this way.
Yeah, you're supposed to put this on before you put the transmission in.
Ideally, but
Alright, so now I got to get my crooked snap ring pliers.
instead of this
Well, I just got to change the angle of these, and then we should be able to put that on. So go ahead and pause that and hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
So that wasn't that hard, but you should
As long
do
as
it.
you have the 90 degree.
Yeah, but you should do that before you put the transmission in.
Ideally, yes.
So I guess we'll get the other lever on for the
E-brake.
e-brake. And I'm gonna have to go ahead and push that e-brake in because we're not lined up. You gotta kind of rest it on the frame there because that's not good. Did it come back?
Yeah.
Ah, I knew that. See, now I gotta push it in again and lock it. Because if you don't let it ride that frame rail, you little bastard, to drop down and you can't get it up there. Because you can't get it past this. So if
Do you want me to hit the button?
If it falls
Right.
down before it gets behind there, you're screwed.
How
You
about-
gotta start over again.
Okay.
Did it fall
It fell.
in the wrong spot?
Yeah, I think you can work with that, right?
Nope. Nope.
All right. You want me to do the lever?
Can you reach in there and put it where it needs to go? When I let
Maybe
it
if I come around this way. Let me see. I guess try it now.
Gotta go up on top.
Wait right there. Just no, a little bit more. Just a smidge more. Up. Wait. There.
You can push
There.
that.
There. Now
Yeah.
put the pin in.
Yeah. Now the pin just goes in and pulls back.
Okay. Done.
All right. So now we're not skipping any other steps, right?
I hope not.
What other parts do we have here? We have the two deck pins.
Well,
and
we
the
had.
lug nuts.
Don't we have to put the fan belt on?
Yeah, but
No, the
I'm just looking
transmission
to
belt
make
on.
sure we didn't forget anything like the fans. So this is where these come in handy. Is you can grab a hold of this spring for the tensioner, and now I can have her hold that while I get the belt on the pulley. Maybe. Yep. And now I can put the spring back on there, and that's done.
Right.
Now we gotta put the rear tires on it. Actually, now this is where you gotta use two jacks. Let's go ahead and show them how you gotta do this. This is the part that I skipped when I took it apart. So you're able to see how the wheels and stuff went on. Because you gotta get the jack stands out from under it, and you can't do that once the wheels are on it. So what you have to do, get a jack under it. Then you take the jack stands out, and you take another jack. Now you got that jack under it, you can take this one out.
Whoa.
And now it's not stuck on jack stands, we can put the wheels back on it. The holes. Looks like right there. And then we'll have to slide the deck under next. And then there's this 2 pins and a tensioner on that. It's fairly simple. They say it takes 6 hours to do it.
6 hours.
Yeah, that's what it said. Remember when we were reading it? It said 6 hours to remove and install the transmission for this. It didn't take but about 45 minutes, maybe 50 at most, to tear it apart. And if you wouldn't have
So
broke
that's
the
just
magnet,
intimidating. Trying to intimidate you.
Yeah.
This is that company that doesn't want you working on your stuff.
Right.
We know that.
Okay, so now this is where we're going to go back to the...
They're probably trying to discourage you from working on it.
15 millimeter.
Did you torque them?
Yeah. I torqued them like that.
Should probably take a torque. I bet John Deere has a torque spec.
Yeah. I'm sure they do. It's DeWalt torqued.
On high.
Yeah, but that's just a little tiny 3/8. It's not like I used the big guy. So anyways, if she wouldn't have broke the magnet...
I didn't break the magnet. Don't lie to everybody. They'll know. They watched the video, probably. Right. If not, go check out part 2.
Yeah. I don't think I labeled it part 2, though.
Well, fix the label then.
Alright. I'll try.
So people know it's part 2.
I just think it was John Deere transmission fail. Okay, so now we get to slide the deck under there. So I'll go ahead and move our fancy gimbal over here. Well, maybe over here. We got to slide it in here. So you can put the fancy gimbal there. Push your side forward a little bit. Alright. Pull your side back so it hooks. There we go.
What about this belt? Better put that belt in.
Well, we got to figure out the tensioner on here. We're going to have to do that after we get it hooked on.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and let the tractor down a little bit. So we line it up with the... Yeah, okay. Now the deck.
That's up.
That's up.
That's down.
Down. Are we lined up?
I move a little bit. We gotta get it up.
Yeah.
Up more. Up.
Okay, so the last time I took it apart, I put a 2x4 underneath of it. So let me go get something to stick under there. Okay, a couple 2x4 scraps. And I lift it up, and you can stick it under there. Alright, did yours go in?
Yeah.
Alright, so now you gotta take your fancy pin off. Show them the fancy pin. There it goes in from the back side. If your hole's lined up, you can do yours first because mine's not lined up now.
Mine's kind of close. Let me see if I can get it.
You could
The pin's got to go to the outside.
put the pin in from the back. Yeah, and then the little cotter pin goes on the outside on it, where you can see it.
You have to go up with this little.
Guess I'll help you get that through. Mine was perfectly lined up at first.
We'll go up or down with it there. Probably up. Yeah. Oh, wait. Now go down a little. Down a little more. Oh, wait a minute. No, something's not right.
You can use your punch.
No, it's not even close. Too high. That's too high. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, that's the wrong way. The 2x4 is too high. Wait, no. Now you got it jammed.
Alright, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to let this side down because I have the other one.
Go.
I don't know why it's being non-compliant now. We got to make
Not
sure.
lined up.
Let me go to mine.
Go slow with the deck to go up or down a little bit. Goes.
the heck?
Okay, well. It's like the deck's gotta go back. Nope. Oh, you had mine lined up for a second. Okay, you're moving it over. What do you do?
Here, I'm gonna stick the punch in here. Alright, I got the punch in my side. You need to go up.
Yeah, I know. I can't see. Like, there's no way. I guess I need to go in here.
So here, I can come over here.
Just, you get the whole lined up.
Yep. It's right there. I had to use the hammer to get it out. That's why.
Alright, well you...
Well, I'll tell you what. If we loosen the tensioner on the front of it, it'll let it go back a little bit. That's going to be the big one. 18. So if you guys are wondering what I'm trying to do now, so right here this thing hooks around and it's got 2 nuts. And if we loosen them, we'll be able to get that hole lined up. See, the pin's almost in there. So I'm just going to loosen that a little bit. I was hoping to get it in there without doing that.
A little bit. Just a bit.
Should go back.
Where's that pin? Where'd you put it?
Right here.
No,
It's in it. You just gotta get it wiggled in there. There you go.
Yep.
So now go ahead and tighten that back up a little bit. I'm gonna do the same thing on this other side. Just loosen this a little bit. There you go. Alright, you got your funny powder pen? Alright. So that's all we had to do is just loosen those two nuts up just a smidgen. That way we could get the pin in. So now we got to get the belt on. So that is, there's a big spring. You probably can see it better from this other side. Big spring right there. Where's the fancy needle nose thingies?
There's forceps.
Yeah, so you're gonna grab that.
No, no scratch the back.
That releases the tensioner. You hold this, I'll get the belt on. Alright, then we gotta grab our funny spring again. And it is done.
No, it's not done till we really try it.
Yeah, so maybe you should try it.
Alright.
Let's see if we did a good job or not. So give it a fire up and see if she moves. See how all them wheels turn? There we go. So that's it. Is she gonna put the deck down? No. Brand new blades on it. I think it'd cut better if she put the deck down. Or is it still down? I don't know. I'm not operating it. Well, I think that's success. She gonna drive through the big mud puddle? It just got done pouring rain here. Alright. So we still gotta put the loader on this New Holland here. This one's hers over here. That's her TC18, and I got a 21D, but this loader here has got to go on it, so that'll be our next tractor project. So until then, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're always doing something. It's not always guitars. Sometimes it's boats, sometimes it's trucks, sometimes it's tractors. So thank you for watching.